I would just say that for me, one of the things that I felt so happy about in coming to Ananda was the openness of the community and the leadership of Swami Kriyananda in particular, and then in other Ananda communities, other Ananda leaders. Leadership is an important issue for communities, and I'm just evolving my thinking on this because I'm not used to thinking about why Ananda is different from other communities or similar. But earlier this evening, Sid mentioned a common thought that some communities are collectively oriented, many use consensus decision making, others are authoritarian. And I thought, you know, that's spiritual communities are often considered the authoritarian kind because there's a dynamic leader, because everyone is not strictly trying to be very equal and decide everything as a group. But in spiritual communities, authoritarianism can be a very misunderstood thing because we all know for sure that there are examples, many examples, and they hit the media. The media love these examples, which we're all familiar with. People who are given authority by a community and basically abuse it. But what is far less picked up by the media, and what has certainly been my experience, and I think many other people that I know in other kinds of spiritually oriented communities, is people who see leadership as service. People who see that they want to help people in their group, and they are given respect and authority, sometimes even against their wishes, because their desire is to serve, because their desire is not to shine and to have power over others, but to help people have a better experience. And when you have people like that, and these do exist, I'm reading a history of India right now, Mahatma Gandhi was a wonderful example, and Nehru in his footsteps. India is a remarkable story after independence, the largest democracy in the world, and it survived. It was pulled apart by many, many forces that the American founding fathers didn't have to deal with, including language and religious diversity and everything. But it held together, among other reasons, because the leaders were very dedicated to making it work, to being fair to everybody. And there are numerous wonderful examples of leadership. Well, that for me was deeply, deeply important because, like many people at Ananda, as I talk to people, I felt that when I came to Ananda, I liked the meditation part, I liked the spiritual teachings, but I wasn't going to have anybody telling me what to do. And lo and behold, I sort of walked around for a while expecting to be told what to do and being ready to respond. No, but I didn't find it. It was just joy and happiness, and sure, if you want to join us, come along. If you don't, that's fine too. And I was never told to do things, I was just invited. And that, I think, is a really important part of communities in general. It was certainly part of my experience at Ananda, and it's one of the things I think that cooperation and harmony spring naturally from the human heart when things are not pushed down your throat. And that's one of the wonderful potentials for a community, to give people the opportunity to flourish and grow without being told, this is the system, this is, I mean, the antithesis of this is communism. We're all doing this together, this is how you must behave. If you don't do it right, you go to Siberia or worse. But if everybody behaves exactly like this, we'll have a good society. Well, we're all unique individuals, and we all have to grow in our own particular way, and when we're given that freedom, communities can be an absolutely wonderful way to blossom. That's been my experience at Ananda, and I think everybody's experience in different ways in their communities. And also, I have to say, Ananda does not use consensus decision-making, but many communities do. And I was experienced with consensus decision-making before I went to Ananda. I was involved in food co-ops, which were a food distribution business in New England, Maine, was where I was from. And we had hours and hours and hours of consensus decision-making. And they were hard because we had to come up with decisions, and people didn't like to agree and everything. But the bottom line is the consensus decision-making, too, is rooted, I think, in a deep respect for the fact that everybody's opinion counts, and I am willing to set my opinion aside at least to the extent of listening to others and sincerely trying to see their viewpoint with the view that I might change my opinion or we might come to a consensus. So I think that all throughout the communities movement there's a great deal of heart and desire to share and build a better world. That's my experience.